Watertown Whiskey presents Reality After Show's coverage of the NFL Weekly Preview Show with Survivor Legend Jonny Fairplay, Survivor 47's Gabe Ortis, and producer Bobby Goodsby.
Oh, hello there, wherever you're listening, however you're listening, joining us live on the Reality After Show YouTube channel or after the fact on the archive episode. We love you all the same. Welcome into the Reality After Show's NFL Wildcard Weekend Playoff Preview Show. Boy, oh boy, it is here, the best time of the year, if your team actually made it, which not all of us can say. Johnny roots for every team in the NFL, so all of his teams made it, surprisingly, and all of his teams are going to win the Super Bowl. Pretty crazy, but here we are. Of course, my name's Gabe Ortis, Survivor 47, Jonny Fairplay, Survivor, Pearl Islands, and Micronesia, and producer extraordinaire Bobby Goodsby, who managed to play the right intro this time. Thank you so much, Bobby. So getting into these games here, we had a couple of pre-wildcard weekend games where the playoffs were on the line. We're not going to talk about those games. We're going to talk about the games that we have to look forward to.
Whoa, no, Gabe. We need to talk about one game.
What game? The Panthers versus the Bucks.
We can. So, peek behind the curtain. We were playing Traders, the Gibbs game Zoom deal, in which I thought I was watching the Panthers versus the Bucks. Now, I don't know if you remember. I was just like, Panthers win. They're going to. They're in the playoffs. Blah blah blah. What I did not know is because I have like every channel, and I was watching the earlier meeting. Because I was just like, wow. I was like, I thought they were playing in Tampa, but apparently they're playing in Charlotte. Wow. I could have gone to the game. And so I'm watching the Panthers win. I'm just like, all right, great. And then after the game ends, they're showing the game again. I'm just like, there is so no football on that they were literally showing a replay of this game. No. They were showing the actual game. So I go into Saturday night. I'm just like, my Carolina Panthers are in the playoffs. It's pretty good. Pretty excited about that. I got no loyalty to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't care. And then I'm watching the Saturday night game, and I'm just like, who cares about the Saints? Why are they talking about the Saints and the Falcons? Who cares? The Panthers already won.
Well, people wonder why I call you Grandpa Fairplay. And, exactly why.
And why you come here for my expert opinion.
So the views of Jonny Fairplay do not represent the views of the National Football League.
Yes. So, all right. So no, there was another game, Gabe. You were actually at this game.
I was at this game. Yes, I was.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean,
walk us through the roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked. It sucked. The whole thing sucked. I thought that the Baltimore Ravens looked like the better team through most of the game. I thought that they had more home runs hit, right? Like every single touchdown that the Ravens scored was a home run. I just think that they got later into the game and they couldn't get off the field. And this was a problem that we've seen this team have this entire season, was just an inability to get off the field on third down. And it kept happening. And they didn't have DK Metcalf, which you thought was going to make a big difference in that department. And it didn't. And despite all that, Lamar Jackson still managed to lead 3 game-winning touchdowns. And everyone's going to look at Tyler Loop, the kicker, who missed a 44-yard kick, a kick that he's hit every single time he's kicked it this season. He was perfect this year from under 50 yards. But people are kind of wiping under the rug the fact that the Baltimore Ravens defense was on the field with under 2.5 minutes left to play, and the Steelers had 0 timeouts. And not only could they not get off the field, they couldn't keep the Steelers from scoring. I mean, that is a complete and total failure on the defense in my mind. And it was a situation that the kicker never should have been put in. And then you go and you look at the kicker, and like there's nothing to say, right? Like the guy shanked it. That's just it. What that's all. The dude shanked it. It came off.
Did you see the priest did the holy water before the game?
Well, yeah, and you wonder why they lost. I'll say this. I'll say this. One overwhelmingly positive thing that came out of that game was there was a guy a few rows in front of us who kept turning around to chirp. and he had a black Steelers jersey on with a white collar underneath, like a collared shirt with a white collar. And he was this nerdy looking white dude. And he kept turning around to chirp us. And at one point after we scored, he turned around to say something. And I went, "Sit your ass down. You dressed like a priest today." And this dude behind us went, and he was a Steelers fan. He goes, "He did dress like a priest today. And he did sit that down." And I was like, all right, that's a dub. And I'll take that. I'll ride that no matter how this game ends. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's really, really, really painful to lose a game that way, where it's just a chip shot kick that gets shanked. Unfortunately, Baltimore Ravens fans have had to deal with that in the past in a winner go home game with Billy Cundiff not too long ago. It's now 13 years ago. Against the New England.
Feels like yesterday.
Say it again.
Feels like yesterday.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But it led to John Harbaugh getting fired. And now we are the most attractive team for any prospective head coach out there. And John Harbaugh is the most attractive candidate for any prospective team out there. So it's kind of this mutual parting of ways. It was a breakup that is sad, but needed to happen.
And it did.
And it did. It needed to happen, And now that it has, it kind of wipes away that stench and brings about a new sunrise in Baltimore. So I'm still really sad. I would love to be playing on Wild Card Weekend. I think that this team was good enough to win a game on Wild Card Weekend at home, no less. But it's just I am very frustrated by the fact that it ended the same way last year did, where it's like there's nothing to say. Last year in Buffalo, it was like Andrews, he just dropped it. He just dropped it. He's an all-pro tight end, and he dropped it. And this year, it was like you had a guy who was perfect from under 50 all year, like 30.
I know that
something, and he just shanked it. And that's just like that is what it is,
From a Vikings fan perspective, I know what it's like to have a kicker go not miss any kicks the whole year and then miss the kick to go to the Super Bowl. So I know what that's like. But I will also say I do agree with this comment right here. The game definitely changed for the defense when Kyle Hamilton went down. But he wasn't, even before that, he wasn't playing the best game, but him out there as a presence, as a force, like that was when your defense just started allowing a lot of catches, a lot of big chunk plays. And then what I was also going to say too is for the Ravens, and as much as this pains me to say this, Flores might be a great addition as head coach from the Vikings defensive coordinator. I don't want to see him go. I want him to stay there, but imagine what he would be able to do to turn around that defense. Like, I think he'd be an excellent hire for the Ravens.
I'm pretty out on Flores just because of how Miami went. That's my big
He led them to the playoffs. That was more a Miami thing than it was a him thing. And I know Tua said what he said, but I really just don't buy into that. Look at what Flores
Patrick also had pretty damning quotes about it too. I
don't know.
Like when you look at what Fitzpatrick said, I'm pulling up the quote right now. He said, quote, "I think the interesting thing with Brian Flores, when I think about him and being able to play under him for a few years, is which version of Brian Flores are we getting? In year one of Miami, halfway through that year, we hadn't won a game yet, and there was a shift in the way he was approaching his job. He was likable, relatable, demanded a lot out of players, but he was also able to get the best version out of his players. But as his tenure went on in Miami, he became unrecognizable. A lot of the staff he brought over from New England, which is where he cut his teeth. He was there for 15 years as an assistant. I think in interviews, he'll be likable, he'll be relatable. But when you say, okay, give me someone from Miami that coached under you as a reference so we can talk to them, I think he burned a lot of bridges there. Instead of having the humility to ask questions, to collaborate, I think by the end of this time there, he became a dictator. He ruined a lot of those relationships.
Look at Van Ginkel, who went from Miami.
What about him?
Van Ginkel went from Miami to go to play with Flores or for Flores in Minnesota, and look how that turned out. Like, I don't read into all just one person's perspective, maybe two people's perspectives. I think that but
those two people, and not to cut you off, but those two people are quarterbacks. Like, you're using a middle linebacker as an example, which is fair. Yeah, that's a player who clearly likes playing under the guy and plays well under the guy. He was great in Miami. He's even better now in Minnesota. But like, I don't care about how good my middle linebacker plays if my quarterback is going to be saying, I can't work with this guy. And especially in a team like Baltimore where the quarterback is the team.
Yeah. I mean, I come from the perspective where I don't want to lose Flores. I think Flores is a great defensive coordinator. I mean, granted, yes, head coach, it's a totally different story, but I still think that Miami situation was weird. I would give him a second chance. He said he's learned a lot from O'Connell on how to coach people, how to relate to the players more. I think given a second opportunity, he could be absolutely amazing. And there's a lot of talk about him with the Raiders right now, which I hate, but I'm hoping he doesn't go anywhere.
My top choice right now for head coach is Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for Seattle.
Really?
A huge gap. And then probably Jesse Minter, who's the defensive coordinator over in Los Angeles for the Chargers.
Yeah.
I think if you bring in a defensive guy, you need to bring in like a really high caliber offensive coordinator, like a Cliff Kingsbury or something to that effect. But right now, I really like Clint Kubiak. He's got some connections to the Baltimore Ravens, obviously with head coach Mike Macdonald. And also his dad, Gary Kubiak, was the offensive coordinator for the Ravens in 2014. He was very successful with Joe Flacco and that team. So, I mean, the dude's putting up 28 points a game with Sam Darnold. No disrespect to Darnold. Imagine what he could do with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry on the team. I think it could be a really good setup.
What about Jesse Metcalf from Desperate Housewives?
Jesse Metcalf is the head coach of the the Baltimore Ravens.
I would also throw out Dayball too. I still think Dayball with Lamar Jackson could be absolutely dynamic. Look what he did with Josh Allen.
I'm actually a big Dayball fan, but I want to see him do that somewhere else. Like I just saw a lot of like the crash outs that happened in New York.
Yeah.
And I just like, and the Ravens are a very unique team in that Lamar Jackson is like such a unique personality. Like he is not someone that you can throw a lot of like rah, 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 rah at and expect it to go well. Like you need somebody who can kind of like wrap their arms around him and be like, you're the best. It's going to be okay. Just like, we're going to do this together, blah, blah, blah. And like Dayball and Flores, I don't see as those guys. And I mean, I think Kubiak is probably going to be like one of, if not the most highly coveted name out there other than John Harbaugh. So, and also for Harbaugh, like, I wish it ended differently. I think he's going to go somewhere. I think wherever he goes, he's going to be uber successful. I would love to see him in New York. I think that's probably the top landing. Him with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatteraboo and Neighbors, all those guys. It would be a really cool fit.
We'll get to playoffs here in a second, guys. But one more thing I do want to throw out there. I would really like to see Stefanski get hired by the Giants. I think
Stefanski's going to be a very popular name.
Oh, Stefanski with that Giants with Dart, Scatteraboo, Malik Neighbors, like I think he could just be absolutely amazing as a head coach over there in New York. And I think to me, outside of Baltimore, I think New York's the next hottest landing spot. One, you're in a big market, and two, all those young weapons, like that. Besides the injuries, and I know that they were, the fifth worst team in the league this year. Those guys don't go down. I think that they could make a playoff push. They were looking really good before, especially before the Scatteraboo injury. So I think with all those factors in place, I think New York's going to be dangerous next year if they hire the right person to.
No, I totally agree. I like
the fifth worst offense in the eighth worst conference in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So, like, I look at New York and I like. Before Baltimore went on the market, like that was far and away the best. Because who's open right now? Like the Browns are open, the Raiders are open, the Titans are
Raiders
open.
Job.
It's all these teams that are always open. That every season they have a head coach that's fired and they're looking for somebody new. Like and I find Baltimore to be so interesting. And I promise we'll get to the playoffs after this. I find Baltimore to be so interesting as a vacancy because this like doesn't really happen a lot. Where you have a team that like has a lot of recent success, is established, like is parting ways with a longtime head coach. The last time I think this happened was ironically with Seattle when Pete Carroll left. Like you had a team with a longtime head coach that was very well respected, that won championships, that had a lot of pieces on this team in place, and they went 9-8, and you kind of just felt like it was getting a little stale over the past 2 years. Both teams decided to part ways, or the coach and the team decided to part ways. And it was like, oh my God, like whoever gets this job is going to be, they're going to walk right into success. And then Mike Macdonald goes in, first year that he's there, 10-7, misses the playoffs. Second year that he's there, he's the 1 seed. So it's like, I feel like that's kind of where Baltimore is lined up right now, where whoever comes in is just going to walk into a whole bunch of success, which has got to be attractive for all these young guys.
Last thing. So about all the coaching carousel, this is one thing I don't hear a lot of people talk in the national media because they don't want to bring it up. But why do we think that a coach like Ben Johnson, where 2 years ago he was the most sought after head coach candidate, and he decided to stay on the Lions because I don't think he saw a team that he really wanted to go be a head coach for. Because guess what? A lot of these teams, like the Raiders, the Titans, the Browns, they're all revolving doors. You're just going to go there, going to be a shit team, and you're going to get out. Like it's always a revolving door. And then the right situation opened where you had, Caleb Williams at the helm. You got all these pieces in place. Okay, yeah, that's the right spot. I'm going to go there. Like, unless there's a team like Baltimore or a nice up and coming team in New York, if I'm a head coach candidate, I'd rather just stay until there's a really good opportunity, and that's the only one I want to take. Because why would I want to be a part of the revolving door?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that on like a personal level, a lot of these dudes have been working their entire lives to be head coaches. And I think a lot of them are like, I just want to get it on my resume.
And their wives are like, I want that head coach money.
Yeah, right. And I want to be that's true though. Like that's true. It's like I can go cash out this big contract. I can finally be a head coach. But I agree with the Ben Johnson take that I think that there are some dudes who are like, I'm gonna be whenever I go on the market, I'm gonna have my pick. I'm gonna get to pick. So why not wait until I get something where I can really settle into? But I also think these dudes have huge egos in a good way, and that's why they've had all the success they can have. And I think a lot of these dudes look at the Browns, look at the Titans, look at the Raiders, and are like, oh, I'll go there and we'll win because that's what I do. And that's who you want as a head coach as well. All right. So getting into some of these games, we open up the conversation with the Panthers. Let's talk a little bit about the Carolina Panthers, who are going to be hosting the team that for most of the season,
they earned it. They earned it, Gabe.
They earned it at 9-8. Who for most of the season, people were saying this is the out and out best team in the NFL, the most complete team in the NFL, best quarterback in the NFL. They find themselves in a wild card position heading to Carolina, the Los Angeles Rams with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford taking on the Carolina Panthers. They currently sit as 10.5-point favorites away from home. Bobby, is that a fair line?
I think it's pretty fair. Let's be real. I know they lost to Carolina at Carolina a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I still think this Rams team with Devontae Adams back, which is a huge factor that a lot of people miss, that yes, they've lost a few games. You get Devontae Adams back in there, then they can't just or double coverage Puka Nacua. You've got, and by the way, Puka's amazing. The fact that Puka fell as far as he did in the draft is one of the biggest draft tragedies of all time, because that guy doesn't matter about double coverage. He still gets open. But I think it's fair. I think Los Angeles, now they're going to get playoff time. They're going to have, be amped up for the game. 10.5 points is a lot, especially on the road and going West Coast to East Coast. I still like the Rams.
Johnny, your Carolina Panthers, do they cover 10.5?
I think the Panthers and myself, living 2 hours away, should be very happy that we got one free game of postseason football. And
I agree.
Yeah. So I think the 10.5 is right on the money. I'm scared to death of it. If you could tease it back a little bit, or just do money line and a Puka touchdown, call it a day.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that it's kind of similar to where the Ravens were this year, and also on the other side the Steelers, of just give me a home playoff game, because then it's house money. Okay, we won the division title. That's a success. We were able to build on what we want to do. And now we all get to, have one more game at home. We got one bonus game at home. But the Rams gotta just run away with this one.
Yeah.
I think they have to. I think they look at this game as a momentum builder for, no offense, the real games that they're going to have moving forward. But also, again, like we just said, the Panthers were able to pull one over just a few weeks ago against the Rams.
Yeah. And Bryce Young is the I can't remember who I was talking to. It may have been one of you guys off the air. Bryce Young is the most boring quarterback in the NFL. And if you think you can beat the LA Rams, you have to be everything but boring.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Bryce Young is somebody who is just a great, great, great game manager. I think he's gotten better at protecting the football. I think he knows how to get the ball out quickly to the best players on the team, which is a great asset to have as a quarterback. But you're not going to stop Puka if you give him, 3 or 4 Hollywood catches a game. You're not going to stop Stafford if you give him time to throw and he can do what he's been doing all season. Like I think 10.5, I agree with Johnny, is a little scary. I think like 8.5.
Yeah,
I feel pretty good
tease
about.
It down and take
yeah, 10 is tough. I think I might take the Panthers to cover, to be honest.
That was
I
also the game. Sorry to cut you off. That was also the game that Devontae went out in like the first quarter or first
also
half
true.
or whatever
Yeah.
it was. So, there's a lot of factors there.
The Saturday night game is the NFC North duel, a game that I'm actually quite excited for, and I'm quite shocked by the line as well. The Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears at Chicago. The Green Bay Packers are currently 1.5 favorites against the Bears. Not something I saw coming. Johnny, obviously you're wearing your Sweetness shirt there. Are you also backing the Bears in the game?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be in Chicago tomorrow night for the Traders premiere with Rachel Riley. I have Chicago is kind of a second home to Jonny Fairplay. They've always treated me very kind. I will be in the 4th tallest building in Chicago tomorrow, looking on to Soldier Field, and I will be sprinkling some I'll be tequila or bourbon, but I will be will be doing a blessing of some kind for Soldier Field for those guys. I think we've said it all year. The Green Bay Packers are fool's gold. The Chicago Bears are fool's gold. I think Chicago at home in the playoffs for the first time in forever is less fool's gold than the Packers fool's gold.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think that the Bears, I think they have a better quarterback, and I think they have a better head coach. And those are the two things that I think are going to decide this game.
Do we think that LaFleur will be fired if he loses this game? Because there's real talk about Green Bay being interested in moving on from LaFleur.
The only reason I say no is because they've had a bit of an injury crisis to end the year. Dudes are dropping like flies on that team. And I think that might be enough if they lose this game to buy him one more year with Jordan Love. Now, if they win this game, I think he's definitely safe.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's crazy to me that 4 out of the 6 games, the road team is the favorite, which is wild for the playoffs.
Yeah, and this is not the year to look for a quarterback or look for a head coach with the Giants and the Ravens out. Like, what are you offering that they're not?
No, yeah, that's also a very good point. This is a tough year to find a head coach.
Yeah.
And that's a very good point. That I think they're probably more attractive than the Giants are right now. But also, I think if you're more established of a candidate, you might be thinking like, if I go to this Giants team, it will be my team versus the Packers, where there's a lot of pieces already in place that you have to navigate. But at the same time, there's still so much work to be done. Yeah. Like, where I think the Giants and Baltimore are a bit more of like that sweet zone of identity that you can impress on the team, but also pieces already in place.
It's a sexier job.
Oh, it's far
New York City.
Yeah. Versus
Jersey,
Green Bay, Wisconsin. Looking at the first game on Sunday, that is another game that Bobby mentioned, where the road team is the favorite. The Buffalo Bills heading down to Jacksonville, Duval, to take on Liam Cohen, T. Law, the Prince, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bills 1.5 favorites taking on Jacksonville in their home stadium. Bobby, this is another one that I don't get. I mean, I know that Allen is clearly the not just the better quarterback in this matchup, maybe the best quarterback left in the playoffs. But I mean, I look at this Bills team. They got 2 players that win them games, and there's James Cook and Josh Allen. And if you can stop them, which is a tall order, then you're probably going to win the game.
It's wild to me because these are my 2 favorites from the AFC. Like, I wanted this to be the AFC title game because I think these are the 2 best teams when it comes to the AFC. I don't know. I really don't know who to pick in this game because Jacksonville, arguably the hottest team in the NFL right now. Like, you can't tell me offensively they are not one of the top tier teams when it comes to rolling into the playoffs right now, because they're just putting up points. Like, what is it? Aren't they averaging like 37 points a game over the last like 5 games or something like that?
Against the AFC
crazy.
South.
Granted, there was a couple games from the AFC South, but They are on fire right now. Trevor Lawrence is finally looking like the player that was taken with the number 1 overall pick in 2021. I just don't know what to pick here. I really don't know. To me, it's a pick 'em. I'm shocked Jacksonville's not at least a home favorite because for me on a neutral field, you're saying then that Buffalo's favored by 4.5. Like, I don't think that. I'm gonna say Buffalo just for the playoff experience.
Yeah. Spread should be half a point Buffalo just because Buffalo's Buffalo and Jacksonville's Jacksonville.
Yeah, and I think I lean Buffalo in this game because of playoff experience. Like, Allen has played in these kinds of games way more than anybody on that Jacksonville team has, and Sean McDermott has coached in these games way more than Liam Cohen has. So I think I lean Buffalo in this game, but also it's going to come down to what kind of Josh Allen shows up. And he's been great this season. But if he shows up and he's turning the ball over, if he can't make plays, if the defense for Jacksonville is giving him fits, I don't think they have a lot of outs. Like, I don't think that they have a lot of other places to go to win this game or to lean on if Josh Allen isn't able to score them at least 24 points. Looking into the Sunday afternoon game, a very interesting NFC matchup. The 49ers, underdogs on the road, our first road dog, heading to Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field, to take on the Eagles. 4.5 points in favor of the Eagles. Johnny, are you feeling confident about either of those?
I run from this game. I love San Francisco over the Eagles, but I think the Eagles are going to eagle. That rain game against Buffalo showed me there's still something in that tank. And I don't like it. I mean, I've seen that story. I know that story. I know how that story ends. I'm ready for another story. So, I mean, San Francisco, we've seen, parts of that story too, and that's great. But like, I want Philly out of there. And but if I'm a betting man, I think Philly wins, and I think they cover.
If this is in San Francisco, it's a whole different story. Yes. But if you have, I feel like it's going to be Philly, right? And the reason why, one, they're the defending Super Bowl champs, but two, it just feels like one of those sloppy games we're going to see where the final score is 17-14 and Philly wins with the last second field goal, and they're still not going to cover the spread. Like, it just feels like a disgusting Philly win.
Yeah. I just feel like, I think that San Francisco is the better team. And I think they're like noticeably the better team, to be honest.
I agree.
Pretty much everywhere on the field.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
But Philly keeps finding ways to win these games. They just it is a devil magic season for them.
Yeah. And even when they were in their slump and losing games, it's just like, oh, don't worry. We just took a month off. We're just now we're gonna win again.
And they just keep finding these like fluky plays that win them the game, blocked field goals, kick returns, like all these weird plays that you can never count on or really practice for that ends up winning them these games all season. And I would just feel really dumb if I bet against that and it happened again. That's kind of my thinking on it. Turning back to the AFC, we have the Sunday night football game, probably the best game of the weekend, to be honest with you. I think that Bears Packers could be a really good game. But the Chargers taking on the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. 3.5 points in favor of the New England Patriots, and the Los Angeles Chargers looking for a playoff win with Justin Herbert. Does he have one yet? Has he played in a divisional round, Justin Herbert?
Yeah, he played it. Oh, no, he's only played wild card. They almost beat Jacksonville, but then they lost a 4-touchdown lead.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert 0-2 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He played once in 2022 and once in 2024. So they're still looking for that first win with Jim Harbaugh and with Justin Herbert at the helm. Is this the one where they get it going up against the fresh face Drake May and the first-year head coach for the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel? Bobby, how do you feel about the spread, and who do you think wins straight up?
Yeah, no, I would be smashing the New England button. I think they're going to absolutely roll the LA Chargers. I think you're going from West Coast to East Coast. I know that I say that a lot, but it is a factor. Plus, you're going from a dome team to the cold of Foxborough. I think that they get absolutely run all over. I think Drake May should win MVP, and even if he doesn't, I think he's going to put up MVP numbers in this game. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think I would take freaking New England 10.5 if it was the case. Like, I think they absolutely roll the Chargers here.
Yeah. Saturday night, 85% chance of rain, 38 degrees.
Oof. Wow. No, it's going to be a sloppy.
I'm not positive. I got to check. I get most of my news and information from Instagram. So this may or may not be true. But Watertown Whiskey is having a contest that if you buy 8 bottles of Watertown Whiskey, you can play on that LA Chargers O-line, because apparently they don't want to play.
Wow. Well, how can I learn more about Watertown Whiskey?
Watertown Whiskey, guess what? Philadelphia Eagles back-to-back. Here we go, Super Bowl champions. You see, Daniels, it is the Commanders' year. Woo! Super Bowl bound to Watertown Whiskey. It's back-to-back. The Chiefs are going back, and they're winning this time. Watertown Whiskey. Y'all boys heading on down to 8 Mile. Lions got this. Watertown Whiskey. It's the AFC's year, but it's the Chargers. There's only one thing I got to say. Watertown Whiskey. Jets. Jets. Shut on. Hartford Whalers. We're going to the Super Bowl. They're close to Watertown, right? There's one thing we can all agree on. Watertown Whiskey. Escape the ordinary. WatertownWhiskey.com. Drink responsibly.
Watertown Whiskey. Head over to WatertownWhiskey.com to figure out how you can get your hands on the best whiskey in the land. Whiskey made with natural flavors. Please drink responsibly, folks, especially on Wild Card Weekend.
Did I jinx every single team in that commercial?
Except for the Chargers.
Mean? Chargers, yeah.
I know. Did I jinx every single team in that commercial?
Yeah. Pretty close. Pretty close to it, right?
Yeah, Chargers included. So,
Chargers included. So
I would smash that Patriots button.
Yeah, I it's tough because this Chargers team is just so prone to dropping games, and they're so injured right now too, which doesn't help. But I don't think the Patriots make a run. I think if they win this game, they lose in the divisional.
That's fine. Just think and that is a great season for this young.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, I mean, like this was not the team on like. I don't know what the betting line was for the Patriots to make the playoffs. But
I think they were at like over under 8 wins this season. I think.
Yeah.
So they've already massively overachieved.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I think even with a win here and a loss next week, that is a success season, and it may not be over. Like, sure. I mean, it depends on the matchup, because once again, I don't think Jacksonville, the number 1 team, is there next week
against the Bills. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think that there's a chance that the Bills could run the table, to be totally honest with you. And it makes me sick to say that, but I can see that.
And I think there's a chance that New England has the Bills number.
Also true. And looking at the Monday night game, my birthday game, which if the Baltimore Ravens were able to win, it would have been at the M&T Bank Stadium. But unfortunately, that's not the case, because that's just how
worst birthday ever, Gabe.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Tell me about it.
Did you make a wish? Texans, you don't get to make a wish till your birthday. See?
Yeah.
You fucked it up.
Really tough. The Houston Texans will be taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers after defeating my Baltimore Ravens at Acrisure Stadium. Currently a 3-point spread in favor of the Houston Texans. Does the prophecy get fulfilled once again? That's the question. Do the Mike Tomlin-led Steelers go 9-8 and lose in the first round of the playoffs again? Like, I think Houston is by far not only the better team on paper, but I think they are also an ascending team. I think they've been looking better and better as each week in December has come and gone. And I think that their defense is going to give the Steelers fits that the Baltimore Ravens defense was unable to do.
Yeah.
And I think they really struggled to stop Lamar and this offense from scoring. And I don't think that's going to be any different with the Houston Texans. I don't see any way the Steelers win this game. I'm going to be honest. I think 3 points is far too little for the Houston Texans coming to town. Bobby, what say you?
Well, I don't think that this Houston team is a Super Bowl caliber team, but I do think this was the best matchup on paper for them to face in the first round. I think that they got the perfect matchup. If it would have been Baltimore, I'd be taking Baltimore all day in this game. But against the Steelers, I just don't think the Steelers have it, even with DK Metcalf back. Now, don't get me wrong. I think this game is going to be sloppy, just like I said the San Francisco-Philly game will be. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think it's going to be kind of gross, especially in Pittsburgh and that weather. That's the biggest factor to me, is the weather in Pittsburgh is going to absolutely benefit the Steelers. And I think that Houston might have a hard time with that, but I do think that defense is just far superior, that they'll be able to lead them to a win. I'm still nervous about Houston -3, but I guess if I'm going to make a bet, I'd probably still take Houston, maybe money line.
Yeah, I like the money line bet for Houston here. I think just these Steelers games can always get so ugly so quickly, especially in Pittsburgh. Yeah. But I think everywhere on the field, the Houston Texans are a better team. Johnny, how do you feel about this one?
I think if Houston's playing Jacksonville, they win. I think if Houston's playing, I'm picking Pittsburgh here.
Wow.
I think Heinz Field. I think Metcalf back. I think that is a huge weapon. And Aaron Rodgers has one more. I think the story ends next week, but I think there's one more, and it's. And if you're a Houston fan, it's just like, dude, really, this freaking dude? And it's just like, yeah, that freaking dude.
Wow.
I think it comes down to the end of the game. And you've said it week after week after week. So many of these Steelers games, especially in Pittsburgh, ends on that last drive. And then Aaron Rodgers, making his mean face, finds the guy. There's a flag. There's something. And the Steelers win this one, but then they go down next week.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what Vegas thinks too, and I think that's why it's such a small spread. I don't see anywhere on the field.
I know. I agree.
Are worse than the Steelers, anywhere. And I think that defense is going to be flying around the field.
Yep.
Like the amount of busted coverages that Baltimore gave Pittsburgh last week was so heart-wrenchingly difficult to watch. I don't think Houston's going to give them those freebies. I don't. Especially late in the game. I think they're going to hit the hell out of Aaron Rodgers all game. But you're right.
With blood trickling from his nose and a black eye and everything else, and then he's going to be grinning walking into that tunnel. He's just like, yeah, I guess we got one more, brother.
I'm still sorry. Go ahead, Gabe.
I was just going to say that I would like to hear your guys' Super Bowl picks, your Super Bowl matchup before we actually start the playoffs. Johnny, Seahawks to win it all. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Is that your pick?
Every other jersey, I might as well jinx
right?
this one.
Seahawks to win it all. Who do you think makes it from the AFC?
I think if I'm betting, I'm going Bills, Seahawks, but I think I would love, and I have no problem with that. I think I would love a New England Seahawks Super Bowl.
Interesting. Run it back.
Okay. Run it back. Yeah. For me, this is a weird year. There's no front runner. It's been a weird season. It'd be so fitting to have a team like Jacksonville win it all, because it's just like such a weird, sloppy, injury-riddled year that would make sense. Hell, even a Carolina somehow barely making playoffs and then winning the Super Bowl would be so perfect for this season and how this year has gone. If I'm really going true to myself, I think I'm going to take the Rams, because I do think that they're the best team in football when healthy. I do think that they are far superior. I think they've had a little bit of bad luck the last couple of weeks, and I know they're not looking good rolling into the playoffs. I still think the Rams are the best team in the league. Secondly, for the AFC, I'm going to go Buffalo. They just have the experience. All these teams that are in for the AFC are young. They have young quarterbacks outside of Aaron Rodgers. And I just think that with the experience, I know they're not the best team in the league right now. I know they have holes, but Josh Allen in the playoffs with no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow there, I feel like this is his time to get to the Super Bowl. I'm going to have Rams Buffalo Super Bowl.
Wow. So you 5 seed versus a 7 seed. The first 7 seed.
It'd be so fitting, would it not?
This season, it would be very fitting.
From the NFC, I like the 49ers. I think that the 49ers are going to beat that Philadelphia Eagles team, and I think that's going to be the hardest game that they have for this entire run. I think that they're another team, much like the Texans, whose spoiler alert is going to be my AFC representative. I think that the 49ers are a team that has a great roster, a great coaching staff that has been ascending through December. I think every single week in December, they've gotten a little bit healthier. They've looked a little bit better, and they're going into a NFC conference that is rather inexperienced, right? Like the Seahawks team with Mike McDonald has not been in this position with this group of players and this staff before. This Bears team has not been in this position with this quarterback and this staff before. This Packers team is super banged up. The Panthers are like whatever, if they win games, that's great, but it's all kind of bonus. It's house money for them right now. I think they'll end up facing the Rams at some point, but I think that they eke out a win against the Rams as well at home. I really, really, really like this Niners team, and I think this is the year that they actually get it done. I like the 49ers to win the whole thing, and I like the Texans to go on a run here. Yeah. I think they have the best defense left.
Yeah, their biggest hurdle is literally Pittsburgh. I think they make it past Pittsburgh. They're good. So,
I think that this Texans defense is flying around everywhere. I think they've got plenty of weapons. I think if they can score 23 points, 24 points a game, I think they're going to beat everybody they play in this conference. And I think that they are going to be the beneficiaries. It was the talk all season, right? Or at least for the second half of the season when the playoff picture kind of started to take shape, was the AFC is so bad this year. Everybody's bad. There's no Mahomes. There's no Burrow. The Broncos are this young, fresh-faced team with a young, fresh-faced quarterback that's never really been to the playoffs before with them in a meaningful way. The New England Patriots have this young quarterback who's never played a playoffs, not before, and a first-year head coach. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be what they're going to be. Like the Steelers, nobody's given any credit to. I think some team has to be the beneficiary of a terrible AFC playoff field. I think that's the Texans, because they have a reliable quarterback and they have the best defense, in my opinion, by far of anybody left.
Yeah. And also,
the real quick, the Houston Texans Super Bowl champions is the least sexiest Super Bowl champion team.
For sure.
So, but them being there, I don't hate it. Them winning, I don't love.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to put out there too, Buffalo, they're the 6 seed though, right? You said 7 seed. They're 6 seed. They're playing Jacksonville as the 3.
Correct. Yeah. The Chargers are the 7 seed. Correct.
Yeah. So Buffalo, so a 6 seed and a 5 seed. I still like it. Honestly, I think the best position in football is to be a 5 seed, because you're obviously a really good team to be the top of the wild card, and you're playing the shittiest of the divisions. Like the best seed to always have is that 5 seed, in my opinion, outside the 1 seed, obviously.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, guys, I love that all of us have different picks. I love how we have have different takes, which that's kind of par for the course with this season, because this
it's like if any of us are right, it's like sure, I totally agree.
Johnny bought a New Jersey, of course.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Burned through all the other ones.
All right, so real quick before we get out of here, we got 2 minutes before we get out of here. What do you guys think is the highest and lowest ticket price for playoff wildcard weekend?
Carolina Panthers.
Wow. Yeah, I think lowest price is definitely the Rams taking on the Panthers. I'm going to say highest price. Both LA teams are in it, but neither game is at SoFi. I'm going to say Saturday Night Football at Soldier Field is the highest ticket.
Yeah, I'm going New England.
All right. So for lowest price, you guys both guessed Rams at Carolina. That was the second lowest by only a few dollars. The lowest ticket price of the weekend is Houston at Pittsburgh, $147 ticket.
That tracks.
Yeah. Real quick, Gabe, how much did you pay for your tickets for the Heartbreaker?
We paid like $130 for them. But by the time that it was like kickoff, tickets were like $60. It was crazy. They plummeted.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I just don't think I don't think any of the fans thought they were gonna win.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Highest price ticket of the weekend. Gabe, you were dead on by a mile. It's Green Bay at Chicago. That ticket price, lowest ticket, $351.
Wow.
Jesus. I didn't think it'd be
my
that
friend
expensive.
Angela I'm staying with
I mean, well, it's just like it's the playoffs in Chicago. It never happens. And when it does, it's like
and against the division rival.
Yeah, against the Packers. Like, this makes total sense.
Yeah. I was just thinking that Yankee money, you know.
Yeah, also true. Yeah. All right, that's gonna do it for us previewing the first weekend of the NFL playoffs for 2025. My team is not there. Bobby's team is not there.
My team's
all
there.
Of Johnny's teams.
All of my teams are there.
So he's going to be doing all the rooting for us. So very, very exciting. Wow, Johnny disavows the Jacksonville Jaguars, the bullshit franchise of the NFL.
And my team goes on this week. My team goes on a 5-game win streak to end the season and get us third place record and the worst draft spot out of any non-playoff team. Awesome. Thank you so much, Vikings.
You got to love it, don't you?
One last thing. Did you guys know that if Green Bay and Dallas don't tie like week 3, we're in the playoffs?
Really?
Yeah, that one tie screwed us out of the playoffs.
Well, it cost me $500.
That's crazy. So you would leapfrog Green Bay.
Green Bay.
If that was the case?
There's a lot of factors. Sure. But if you look at it right now in the lens, that one tie, the one tie that happened all season.
And that's sports, baby. That'll do it for us, Bobby. Get us out of here.
Bye, guys.